Hello, I'm Caitlin Jenkins, the Family Law Vlogger, and today, as part of the Mills and Reeve Children Law Awareness Week, I'm delighted to be joined by one of my specialist children colleagues, Claire Molyneux. For those of you who watched the blog before, you'll have seen some conversations I've had with Claire in the past about some specialist children law issues. But turning to you then, Claire, tell me a little bit about you and your experience.
Thanks, Caitlin. Well, I trained at Mills and Reeve many years ago now, and I qualified as a solicitor into the family team in 2006. And for the first few years, I specialised in all types of work relating to anyone who's separating, but had a particular interest in helping parents who are going through a separation. So all types of work relating to how they make the arrangements for their children, either when they separate or further down the line if things crop up, such as a choice of school, things like that. When there's difficult challenges for families where there might be a background of domestic abuse or just high conflict, any types of challenges that we can help families to move through.
Great, thank you. And so what are your sort of particular areas that you tend to get involved in, or cases or types of work that you tend to get involved in these days on the children law side?
Yeah, well, it's evolved a bit actually, because a few years ago I moved away from sort of the day-to-day court work and assisting families in that way, and I trained in two new areas. So I trained to become a mediator. And mediation is actually working, rather than working with just one parent, it's working with two parents together who might be finding communication difficult, and so they might want the professional support of a mediator who can help them to manage and encourage constructive conversations that can work together to make arrangements for their children. So that's one thing I do, and I work with Mills and Reeve and also with our local mediation service to do some of that work too. I also work or trained as a parenting coordinator, and that's something that listeners may not have heard about before, or viewers, should I say. So parenting coordination is another form of dispute resolution, and it's been available to parents in other countries since the 1990s, but we've only started to offer it as a process here since, I think, about 3 years ago. And it's designed for parents in what we describe as high conflict. And what that really means is parents who really struggle to get on, so that they may have been through the court proceedings and have a child arrangements order. So that's an order that sets out how they're going to see their children and divide up the time. But they simply can't implement the terms without a real struggle. A typical example, classic example might be that our court orders often say that the parents will divide the time between them equally. But if you find it difficult to communicate, that is a really difficult thing to agree on year after year. And so parenting coordinators have multiple roles, really. The overall aim is to help parents to be able to communicate better. So we look at communication systems, and we also talk to parents about interparental conflict and how that can be difficult and challenging for children in terms of their own development. And we aim really to help parents to empower them to become more independent, and eventually we work ourselves out of the job, and they can go about the business of carrying on the parenting without us being involved. And one small additional role I have is I work as the professional support lawyer within our team in relation to children's law, which is a real privilege because I get to read all of the judgments, the law that's changing, any reports that are relevant to us, and I get to train our team. So that really helps me to keep abreast of all the changes that are happening and the good practice that we should be putting in place for our clients. That's me in a nutshell.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Claire. And I should say that Claire was one of the very first people to train in parenting coordination, and is one of the leading experts in this field locally and nationally. So if you've got any queries about parenting coordination, mediation, or any of the other aspects that Claire's talked about, or indeed on children law matters generally, then please do contact either Claire or one of the members of our specialist Mills and Reeve family and children team, the details of which will be underneath this blog. But for now, thank you very much, Claire.
Thank you.